going to try just a few more doing the same tactic. So let's first label our 2 points. I have x1, oopsies, and y1, and I have x2 and y2. We should be feeling pretty darn comfortable with labeling our points by now. That should not be our issue. From there, I'm going to plug in. So I'm going to have 0 minus -5 and 0 minus 3. 0 minus -5, that changes to a plus, and 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 minus 3 is -3. So this would be the fraction -5/3. Okay? Neither of these are both positive because 0 is neither, but probably going to be easiest to work with 0, 0. So I'm going to circle that point. So when I come down to the bottom, okay, I'm plugging in my point, which I chose 0, 0. And I'm plugging in my m, which we just found to be -5/3. In place of y, I'm going to put 0 because that's what it equals in this case. In place of m, I'm going to put what it equals in this case, which is -5/3. In place of x, I'm going to put what it equals in this case, which is 0. Okay? So on the left-hand side, I have 0. On the right-hand side, I have -5/3 times 0. What is anything times 0? 0. If you need to put that in your calculator, that's perfectly fine. If you knew it off the top of your head, even better. Okay? If you are the person that knows right off the bat what that b is going to equal, that's awesome. If you're the person that needs to subtract 0 on both sides and see that it gives you nothing on both sides and that it still equals 0, that's perfectly fine as well. Okay? So when we go to the bottom, okay, we're going to fill in our m, which is in this case -5/3. I'm going to put that next to x because m is always next to x. And then I'm going to have plus my b, which is 0. So if you are the person that knows what that final answer is, that's awesome and way to go. So our final answer is y equals -5/3 x. Make sure it is a fraction. Doesn't matter where your negative is as long as it's negative. Okay? Try the next one. One more, and then we'll be done. Okay? In this case, we have our x1 and our y1. Our x2 and our y2. In place of y2, I'm going to have a positive 1, and then that's going to be -0. In place of x1, I'm going to have -1, and that's going to be in place, and then in place of x2, I'm going to have -1, minus in place of x1, I will have 0. This is going to be +1 because 1 minus 0 is 1. -1 minus 0 is -1, giving us a final answer of -1. So that will be my slope. Then, from there, we are going to pick a point. I'm going to pick 0, 0. So down here, I'm going to put 0, 0 in for x and y. And my m we just found out was -1. So, in place of in place of y, I'm going to put 0. In place of m, I'm going to put -1. In place of x, I'm going to put 0. 0 brings down. This is -1 times 0, which is 0. Just like the last one, if you're the person that needs to subtract 0 on both sides, that's perfectly fine. If you knew that the b would be 0, that's awesome as well. When I come down to the bottom then, I will have y equals my m is negative 1x plus my b is 0, or for a final answer of y equals negative x. Okay, so make sure that you feel comfortable with that, and hopefully now you feel even more comfortable to try a few on your own.